Welcome to tonight's meeting of the Finance and Governance Committee meeting. I declare the meeting open at 18:03 p.m. I would like to acknowledge the Bidjigal people of the Eora Nation, who are the traditional custodians of all lands, waters and sky in the Georges River area. I pay my respect to elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples who live, work and meet on these lands. No, everyone's here, so there's no apologies. There were no requests to attend by the video audio visual link. Staff and public are reminded that this meeting is being recorded for minute-taking purposes and is also being broadcast live to the public on Council's website in accordance with Section 5 of Council's Code of Meeting Practice. The recording will be made available on Council's website. The order of business is as shown in the agenda, which has been made available. Staff and public are reminded that this meeting is open. Doors to the meeting room are to be left open unless the meeting moves into a closed confidential session according to Section 14 of the Code of Meeting Practice. Only if the meeting moves into a closed confidential session will the public broadcasting of the meeting be suspended. Council's Code of Meeting Practice prohibits electronic recordings of meetings without the express permission of Council. Mobile phones must be turned to silent during the meeting. Do any councillors have any interest to declare? There are no speakers registered for tonight's meeting. You move to the motion in 01024, confirmation of the minutes of the Finance and Governance Committee meeting held on 11th of March 2024. Can I have a mover and a seconder? A mover and a seconder. Second. Does anybody have any questions? Put the motion forward. All those in favour say aye. Aye. I declare the motion carried. PIN 01124, investment report as at 29th of February 2024. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Motion, Madam Chair.
Second.
Any questions? I'll put the motion forward. All those in favour say aye. Aye. I declare the motion carried. FIN 012-24, draft forward and corruption control policy and system. Can I call for a mover and a seconder?
Marnie, Councillor Marnie's.
I'll second that. Does anybody have any questions?
You're just going to put a amendment to it if it's okay, Councillor Jamieson.
Yep. So, you want to talk to your proposal, and then we can work on adding it in.
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Parker. I'd just like to add in maybe maybe it'd be everyone decide on that, but I'd like to just put in something about that ICAC be provided with the opportunity to comment on the draft document, on the draft policy and system.
Through you, Chair, could I suggest an amendment to A, potentially that Council approve the fraud and corruption control system and policy to be placed on public exhibition for 28 days, no less, and for ICAC to provide review and comment of the relevant.
Yeah, or maybe just 28 days and for ICAC to be given the opportunity to comment.
Yep. So after the full stop in A. Yep. And for the ICAC to be provided the opportunity to comment.
Yeah, that's great.
So yeah, 28 days. No, remove the full stop, and for the ICAC to be provided an opportunity to review, comment. And we'll expand the ICAC to be the Independent Commission Against Corruption. Seconder.
Oh, just a mover and seconder.
Yeah, that's a question. If I know that point C said the general manager is delegated to make minor administrative changes. If ICAC came back with something that was greater than administrative changes, what would you recommend then, or can that be incorporated into that motion somehow?
Through you, Chair, I would if we receive any feedback, we would come back to council. If it was minor, like there was full stop or just reference a different standard or something like that, or if there's a typo, I generally don't think they would comment on that. It would be something quite significant. If they were to provide a comment, we would then come back, the same as even if it's any public submission, we'll come back to council. It's only if we receive no comment.
We're only going to public exhibition. Okay.
So if we get no submissions and we receive no feedback from ICAC, it gets adopted. But if we receive any feedback from the community and any feedback from ICAC, it comes back to council. And we put the administrative change just sometimes through the draft period, or just as we're filing, we do find little bits and pieces and typos. So it just gives that delegation.
Well, I'm happy as a seconder, so to accept that amendment.
I go through the chair to the director. So normally with this process, when it's sent in there, do they give an acknowledgement that they've received it? And then then it's just a vacuum, or do they come back and say, we have nothing, we have no concerns or anything like that?
Through you, Chair. So they will generally do give feedback. I think because it's based on the Australian standards, it's unlikely, because they'll just make sure, they'll say as long as you've adhered to the Australian standards, but you never know, there could be something they're seeing from a corruption prevention. They might want to see additional through their lessons learned and their training program. They do generally provide feedback. We've sent quite a few policies, so it can just be tightening up a clause or something like that.
Is it normally timely, in a timely manner that they respond?
Generally, I think the 28 days would suffice, but they're quite timely usually. They're not too lengthy in their response. I think it's a different department. It's more the education department that comments, not drawing any conclusions. Thank you.
Any more questions? There being no further questions, I'll put the motion forward. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Anyone against? I declare the motion. What's the word? Thank you. Sorry, Frank.
So the amendment became the motion?
Yep.
FIN 013-24, 2023-24 half yearly progress report for quarter ending 31st of December 2023.
Move it.
Can I have
Move
a move, Nick, and just second it?
I'll second it, Madam Chair.
Are there any questions?
Who was the second?
I just had some questions which we discussed, but I thought I'd make it publicly. There was discussion on pages 70, 71, 94 in regards to Mortdale Master Plan and the Western Suburb, and they're on hold. But so what's the
So through you, Madam Chair, so interpreting question was on 12.2 BI and the reference to there being a revitalisation and feasibility study about, and there's a few references to the Western Sydney Library and the work being undertaken. And I understand your question to be that council's agreed to the revitalisation and the feasibility study. So with these actions, a lot of them they can derive from the delivery program, which is 4 years. So the actions will continue to carry over until we complete the review, and we've created whether it's a multifunctional, accessible and flexible program space is the outcome. So even though we undertake a feasibility study, we still then have to implement any of those actions to derive a multifunctional space. So it's likely that will be a number of years before we deliver on those longer term items. In terms of 1.21A, the reference to the Mortdale Master Plan, without knowing the details of its reference to the library, I would assume that the feasibility study would look at any outcomes from the Mortdale Master Plan once finalised, and then that would be incorporated. So if there is no reference to a library, then that wouldn't be considered in any feasibility study. But until that's finished, it still is an ongoing or on hold item, because it's unlikely they can deliver on the western half, as it's been, I think, removed from the master plan. So the action will change in future, I would assume.
And a question on page 83 on nighttime economy. We are still looking at nighttime economy stuff.
So which item was that? Sorry, 3 point.
The one with a green on it.
3.1.2. seek programs and partnerships to activate no actions undertaken due to resourcing constraints. Through you, Chair, I'll refer that to our Executive Manager, Sim Pitches.
Yeah, through you, Chair. Work's begun this quarter in terms of this year being 2024. And this is reporting through to December and just through resourcing in the economic development team, which is prioritised at the time. But picking up the norms that have been passed at the last two council meetings and foreshadowing ones that we're aware of coming in this month as well, it's been picked up as a priority this year, this calendar year.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question. It's about the sensory garden. And the, it's kind of carried over because of the strata difficulties in the building. Can we have an update on that? How those
Through you, Madam Chair, I'll take that on notice if that's okay, unless Rachel is agreeing to take it on notice. I don't think we have the status and yeah, it's a bit of a complicated one, so I'll take it on notice and provide an update.
I just reading and sensory garden. I mean, once all these issues have been fixed, so it's just an enormous benefit to the community.
Yeah. Take that on notice.
There being no other questions, I'll put the motion to the vote. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Anyone against? I declare the motion carried. PIN 014-24, enhance the reporting and logging of community requests. Now with this one, we're going to wait for
Smooth runs.
oh, okay, we have a mover and second.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
All those, any questions? I've got a lot of questions, but we going to confidentiality.
Yeah. Go confidential. So, do you want to advise that due to the public wanting to discuss the confidential attachments, we're moving into, and then you have to read it out and then procedural motion.
So what do I say here? So
Given we want to ask questions to do with the attachments, we'll be calling for a motion to move into confidential.
So given that we will be discussing issues that are in the confidential attachment, we'll be moving into a confidential session. So at this time, the time being 18:16, the meeting will move into a committee of the whole to allow consideration of a matter in closed session in accordance with Section 10A of the Local Government Act 1993, that in accordance with Section 10A Clause 2 of the Local Government Act 1993, Council enter into closed sessions to discuss PIN 014-24, enhance the reporting and logging of community requests. That in accordance with the provisions of Part 1 of Chapter 4 of the Local Government Act 1993, the matter dealt with in this report be considered in closed council meeting at which the press and public are excluded. In accordance with Section 10A(2)(e), it is considered the matter contains information that would, if disclosed, prejudice the maintenance of law. That in accordance with Section 10D, it is considered that if the matter were discussed in an open committee meeting, disclose commercial information of a confidential nature that would, if disclosed, confer a commercial advantage on a competitor of the council. Accordingly, members of the press and public are excluded from the closed session, and access to the correspondence and reports relating to the items considered during the course of the closed session will be withheld. I will ask the General Manager.
There are no written representations, objections.
Okay, a procedural motion is required to move into a closed session. Call for a mover and a seconder.
I'll move the procedure motion that we move to confidential.
Second.
Do we need to have a mover and a second?
Yeah, now you put the motion.
I'll put the motion forward. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Anyone against? I declare the motion carried.
You're up.
So who does the amendment? Who to say Ben does the amendment?
He can't.
Or he's not in the committee. It's what to do.
I would move the amendment that the director read out.
Who was the original mover? Board?
Oh, I was the secondary. I think you know.
I wasn't
No, you did.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
Councillor Borg and Councillor Marnie.
So you were saying under A, adding A4. Okay, yeah.
Yep. Through you, Chair, do you want me to read out a suggestion? So first one that's feedback to assess the usability of the Logit Fixit platform,
Not sure how that's up there.
Logit Fixit platform. On the council website. And mobile app. Then that will cover both.
It doesn't have mobile app.
That's a sign.
It's just
Oh,
you've got to
okay.
go to the website. Yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't have.
You got to log some more. Fix it,
I don't
stand
live,
up.
I don't live in the area, so I do it. I do it. Sorry, so take out N, so log it onto council website and full stop after website.
Take out mobile app.
I'd say something like test and
So explore the ability to or test the functionality of the mobile user.
yeah, user experience on a mobile device.
Probably make it mobile friendly, the interface mobile friendly.
Yeah, to improve, to ensure the interface is mobile friendly.
It says
Test and improve.
test the functionality of the user experience. So functionality of the before mobile user experience on a mobile device. Just change user device, yeah, to ensure the interface is mobile friendly. Yeah, that's fine. And the last one,
Improve bilingual accessibility. Use something.
Bilingual, was that multilingual?
Multi-language.
Multilingual, sorry.
Improve
Multilingual.
usage, accessibility.
Accessibility.
To relevant interfaces or to the just leave it as that actually. And then for B, the council evaluate the benefits associated with customer as part of the enterprise. And after review, put and includes the identified improvements above into any scoping documents when it approaches market. The above improvements in the relevant scoping documents when it market tests.
Market tests.
Sorry, Councillor Wang, did you have something to say?
Yeah, through you, Chair. So the number 4 above, to assess, probably assess and improve. Don't just assess, we try to improve. Possible.
Second, I choose second to approve.
That's approved.
Yeah.
Fantastic, yes. Thank you, Councillor Wang. We put the motion to a vote. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Any against? I declare the motion carried. Back to Gavin. So just go to there being no other business on the agenda. I declare this meeting closed at 6:44 p.m.